Good evening. How are you guys doing? I'm going to try to keep good lighting and share the video, but I'm very excited about this topic. Not extremely excited about the time of day that I'm on. So I apologize because I know it's kind of late. But we're going to go with it because I'm on day 76 of my 100-day Facebook Live challenge. And even if that means getting on at 9 o'clock in the evening, that's what we do. So we had a busy day today. Evening, I should say. I had some coaching calls today, and I did a lot of work for promoting my group program coming up. And also we had open house at 2 different schools and soccer practice. So I'm just getting home and getting settled a little bit from that. And that is what is going on. All right, one more second so I can share. Yeah, so I kind of want to wait a couple minutes to get some people on also, but if we don't get anybody else, we will just keep going. Okay, so in light of my upcoming group program, it's called Stop Suffering in Your Relationships, I am doing a relationship series for this week. So what I'm doing is I'm going to take a little snippet or a little piece of information that I'm going to be talking about in the program, and I'm going to bring it to you guys, and I'm going to discuss it, and then you guys can give me your questions if you want to, if you have any, in the comments, and I will answer them. Okay, so I got that shared finally, and I'm going to move to a better lighting area. Okay, so tonight I wanted to talk to you all about our need to be right. Now, I might have talked about this before. I'm not really sure, but I think it's really important, so it bears repeating if I've already talked about it. We have a need to be right. We feel a deep need to be right. So when somebody has wronged us, we want to let them know exactly how they wronged us and make them understand what they did and how it felt, and what the consequences or the results were of that wrongdoing. Somehow we think that by being right, it's going to help, and it doesn't. So I know that I wanted to explain myself, and I wanted to be heard, and I wanted to be understood. And those are all forms of needing to be right. So I want to give an example of this, and it's not my proudest moment, but I'm going to share it. And hopefully you guys don't give me too much judgment on it. So we were at soccer, and at the end of soccer, sometimes they play this game, and the parents sometimes join in. So my husband and I joined in, and we were playing this game, and there was lots of different discussions between the kids on how the game is supposed to be played. So we figure out how we're going to play this game after a while, and then we play. Then one of the kids is trying to move around in the line every time, and I was just like, oh, you got to get in line if you're in the game. Well, he was like, well, no, I'm going to just be wherever I want. And I found myself arguing with this kid, a child. I'm an adult person, and I was arguing with a child about rules of a game. Like, who cares? Like, get over it, lady. Who cares? Who cares where he wants to be in line? Who cares? And I found myself getting frustrated. Now, this all happened very quick. It's not like I argued with this kid, just so you guys know. This was like a few second, like a 10-second or 30-second interaction, right? So, but I was frustrated about the fact that he didn't want to follow the rules. And I had this need to be right. Like, I felt like I need to explain to this kid how games work and what the rules are and how to play and how to be fair and why. Somehow we think that's what's going to fix whatever feeling we're feeling inside. So when I was feeling, unloved and lonely and left out and all those things, I wanted to explain myself and let them, let these people in my life know that they were wrong about me and that, that things they had done that were hurtful to me and stuff like that. So that was only so I would feel validated and, to some extent they would agree that I was right, that I was right in feeling the way that I was feeling. And somehow I thought that would alleviate this feeling that I was having. So tonight, when I was quickly arguing with this kid about these rules, I wanted him to know that I was right and follow the rules so then I wouldn't be irritated. But honestly, that's not what was irritating me. And that's no amount of validation or being right is going to fix a situation in a relationship that you are in. So imagine the person you're having the biggest conflict with right now. Picture that person. And imagine them validating for you everything that you want. Yes, I was wrong. Yes, you were right. I should have done that. I shouldn't have done this. I can see how you would feel that way. And I bet you can think of an instance where this has happened, where you have been upset and you've gotten the apology and you've gotten the your right speech and it didn't feel better. Okay, so imagine that person telling you all of those things. Now, you might think that you would feel better, and you probably would for a moment, but it's not lasting. So all those feelings come back because it's not what really alleviates the feeling. So what alleviates the feeling is being very clear about what is causing the feeling. This other person and their actions, behaviors, or whatever it is, do not create your feelings. What's creating your feeling is the thought you're having about the person or the action that was taken or not taken, the inaction. So, I lost my train of thought here. What was I just saying? Right. It's your thought about the person or the situation that is causing the feeling. Now, I know this is kind of mind-bendy at first, and so I get it. And I could definitely show you how this works. So, like, if you had an example, I would, for sure be able to show you. So, let's just stick with my example of the kid at soccer. And me. So I thought I was frustrated because he wasn't following the rules and he was making up his own. But what I was really feeling frustrated about are my thoughts about it. So I could have easily not been frustrated and been like, he's a kid. Of course he's going to want to make up his own rules. Who cares? But I was making it mean like it's not fair to all the other kids. Following the rules is an important lesson. All of these thoughts. Like, I don't know exactly what I was thinking, but those are some examples that it could have been, right? So if I was thinking like, he's, kids will be kids. I could have just played the game and not worried about it, because who cares? It's not like I need to win. But, so that's like an example. Now, let's just say your husband doesn't take out the garbage or wash the dishes or whatever it is you've asked him to do. You think you're mad because that wasn't done. What you're mad about, really, what's causing the feeling of anger, are your thoughts that he never listens to me, he doesn't love me enough to do that, he never helps around the house. If he cared, he would remember. So those are all the things that make you frustrated and angry. It's not actually the thing that wasn't done. Let's see. So I'm trying to think of another good example. Needing to be right. I'm just drawing a blank. This is what happens to me. At 8 o'clock, my brain is shut down. I'm ready for pajamas and bedtime routines and then relaxing before I go to bed. So anyway, our need to be right. So we have this need to be right because we think it's going to help us feel better, but it doesn't. What it does do for us is it costs us something. So our need to be right costs us something. So we feel the need that we need to be heard, be validated, we need to be right, you need to agree with me. But what is it costing you? It's costing you your relationship, right? With this person. It's costing you love, it's costing you friendship, it's costing you, memories and just happiness. It is costing you something to hold on to this need to be right. And only if this person would just understand, if only this person would just agree with me, if only this person would just hear me out. But it isn't necessary, and it's not going to make you feel better, because that isn't what's causing your internal, your emotional, pain. And so I'm just really excited to get this group program going and really, really dive into this much deeper. Now, it's possible so the first step here is, all I just want to tell everybody, is recognizing when you have a need to be right. So if you could just recognize that it's happening, and at first you're probably not going to recognize it until after the fact. So just opening up your awareness to it is automatically going to I am just tripping over my words. It's going to start helping you change it just by noticing. And then once you notice it after the fact, you start noticing it as it's happening. You can kind of cut it off there. And just being really honest with yourself. I'm having a need to be right, but that's not what's going to help me feel better. What's going to help you feel better is finding the thought that's causing the emotion and then working through it. Now, most of the time, I just, help my clients work through their emotion, because if you fully experience it and you pay attention to it, it's not as big and scary as it seems at first. And, it doesn't last as long as we think either. The resistance to the feeling is what keeps it going on and on and on and on. So if you like anything that you've heard, I would please ask you to share so I can find the right women for my group program. So I have a group program starting on September 6th. It's called Stop Suffering in Your Relationships. And I'm looking for 8 women who are happy in all areas of their life, but are struggling in a relationship, and no matter what she does, she just can't seem to fix it. And it just takes up a lot of mental energy and almost feels like physical energy. And she's just really not sure what to do. Is it time to leave this relationship, or is it time to, work harder? Now, this could be a romantic relationship, a relationship with a child. Maybe it's your parent, a coworker, a friend. Sometimes it's like long-term friends, friendships that I get a lot. It could be an ex. It could be a spouse of an ex. It could be a spouse's ex. Okay, so there's lots of different dynamics where you might be struggling in a relationship. And we're going to deal with all things relationships in this 12-week program. And I'm just would be very grateful if you would help me by sharing it or liking it. Now, if there's somebody specific that you have in mind, then I would really, really appreciate you sharing the information with that person and letting that person decide if it's something that they are interested in learning more about. So I just want to thank you so much. Oh, and tomorrow I am going live at 9:00 a.m. Eastern Time, and I am having a special guest on. This is the first time I'm having a guest on my Facebook Lives. Thank you, Lisa, for sharing. So this is my first ever guest, so I'm super excited about it. Her name is Leah Brady. You guys are going to love her. So if you can get on at 9:00, I really recommend that you do, because I think she would probably be willing to answer any of your guys' questions, and I think you guys are just going to think she's great. I do. Now, she's got a podcast. If you're interested in learning more about her, she's got a podcast. It's called Moms, Minivans, and Mayhem. And it's great. I love it. So I'm excited to have her on and for you guys to learn a little bit about her. She works specifically with moms, and she's hilarious, and she's just like every mom needs to know her. Okay, so I'm going to go because I need to get my kids to bed, and I am tired and ready to go to bed myself. All right, you guys, I will see you bright and early, 9 a.m. tomorrow. Don't miss it. Okay, bye.